the most extraordinary thing in Prime Minister's questions, the link will be on here. You have to see it to believe it. I mean, it's actually... I'm wondering whether we need a sanity check on this. I'm wondering whether we need to check our esteemed leaders, esteem being obviously ironic, sanity. So Kemi Badenoch asks him a string of questions about Peter Mandleson. He does not answer any of them. He deflects, he looks uncomfortable, he squirms. The whole front bench looks uncomfortable and squirms. And she goes on and on and on. And I have to say, it's the first time I have seen the leader of the opposition be the leader of the opposition. It is the first time Kemi Badenoch has stood up and actually roasted the Prime Minister for what he's done, what he's not doing, and what the effect is on the country. And she's absolutely holding him to ransom. And he cannot answer the question. He looks like a kid in the headmaster's office. And then the most extraordinary part, at the end, he says she's finally catching up on the questions that she should have asked last week about the Deputy Prime Minister. What does that mean? Does that mean that she should have interrogated him last week about Angela Rayner? She did. She didn't go far enough. We all know that. But what does that say about Keir Starmer? Why is he saying, you should have asked me all of this last week? Did he know? Is that admission from Keir Starmer that he knew what was going on? Because that's one of them. I mean, the response to that is incredulity. What are you saying, man? And the reason he does, he slightly went off script. He doesn't know what he's saying. He has no idea what he's saying unless someone has written it down for him and put it in front of him. And that is what we've got leading the country. Now, I've not been public about whether I like or I don't like Kemi Badenoch. I've not felt that she's got off to the best start. I've not felt she's had 14 months to sort this out, and she hasn't. She's had 14 months to really get to grips with this man, and she hasn't. But finally, today, I saw somebody who was capable of leading the opposition, and it was Kemi Badenoch. I'm bored of hearing about Nigel Farage's houses in Clacton. I couldn't give two shits. We've done it all with Ange. I'm not interested. Own it. Give the information out. Tell the public what they want to know and either move on or be gone. When you're in a position of public authority, you do not get to hide your dodgy dealings in the shadows. Peter Mandleson, it's there for everyone to see. Everyone can see what happened. It's documented. What you did or didn't know is immaterial. There are other people that could do your job and do it without the slurs of your background. So they need to be doing it and you do not. It is simple because every single misappointment that we have with people in leadership roles in this country makes us look more and more stupid. And we are in a situation politically worldwide of extreme vulnerability and danger at the minute. We've got things going on in the world that require our attention and our focus. We do not need to be having these distractions like Angela Rayner and Peter Mandleson. Get over yourselves and start running the bloody country. And Rachel Reeves sitting there looking all smug because for once in her life it's not about her. It will be back to you, Rach. Do not for a second think that it won't. Bridget Phillipson, she is courting a lot of the headlines at the minute because she's disliked more than I knew that I didn't like her. I had no idea exactly how many other people didn't like her. I've referred to her as Darth Vader with her own little Sith army, which is what all the junior ministers are who are supporting her. She is so grossly disliked, and things are coming out of the woodwork about her like you wouldn't believe. If you want to believe it, have a look on X. I don't want to spread the stories. You can find them for yourselves. But this whole Labour government is built on utter hypocrisy. I've written a few things down, which I didn't know if I'd get time to because I'm making a chicken casserole because I've got to go out later. But something that Bridget said was, the hard right are telling young people where I came from that it doesn't matter if they work hard in life, they can't get on. Who? Who's saying that? Who actually said that, Bridget? Who came up with that quote? Who said that to people from the North East? You tell me who said it, because I don't think you can. I don't think anyone said that. I think what you are doing is showing the chip on your shoulder that you've got, that you can't bear, that you came from a place that you didn't feel you should have come from. Because I've never heard anyone say anything like that. Now, you might have had a few bullyish conversations in a pub or in a playground or wherever. That's private. That's personal. That's not national. I've never, ever, ever heard anyone in a ministerial position say to a child, it doesn't matter if you work hard in life, you can't get on. Never. So that is a barefaced lie. She then goes on to say, theirs, anyone other than Labour, is a politics of simple slogans, scapegoats and traitors of betrayal and division. Coming from the woman who is fighting to be deputy leader of the most divided party we've got on the spectrum at the minute. Coming from the woman who is fighting to be the deputy leader of a party who lives on slogans. Coming from the woman who is fighting to be the deputy leader of a party that openly hates many sectors of society, including those that send their children to independent schools and children with special educational needs and disabilities. That applies to her party. It doesn't apply anywhere else because her party is the one that is in power and it is her party that is delivering this hatred, this vitriol. I've not heard that from anyone. Have you? Have you ever heard another minister say that? No, it's a lie. Keir Starmer couldn't answer a question today because he doesn't know unless someone writes it in front of him, unless someone gives him the bit of paper and says that's what you need to say. He cannot do it because he knows his entire party is crumbling. And so his weakness and his inability to actually answer the question shows him for even worse than what he would have looked like if he'd have actually had the gumption and the courage to answer it. But instead, he says he's got faith in Peter Mandleson and that he's absolutely sure that Peter Mandleson is following the due process. So you can be guilty as sin as long as you follow the due process. I remember he had faith in Angela Rayner. Well, she followed the due process and was still found to have dodged tax and had her house overvalued. But is that all right because she followed the due process? Is it heckers like? The man is a joke. The sooner he is gone, the better.